Welcome back. Let's talk about some guys with the Hall of Fame inductees being revealed tomorrow. Laura, you'll have a vote in a couple of years from now. And how would your ballot this year, if you did have a vote this year, how would that look?
Okay, so I actually printed it out because or else I was going to forget. So I have Bobby Abreu, Carlos Beltran, Todd Helton, Andrew Jones, Scott Rowland, Gary Sheffield, Billy Wagner. And I feel like this is the world's most perfect ballot. Not to toot my own horn here.
You want to explain it?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I think a lot of people are surprised with Bobby Abreu. I was actually looking at his WAR compared to other right fielders who are in the Hall of Fame, and only one other right fielder who was eligible, who is retired, had a higher WAR than Bobby Abreu. I felt like he spent most of his career being a little bit unheralded, and I think that, that's something that should be rectified. As for Carlos Beltran, he has Hall of Fame numbers. He is a Hall of Famer. I understand the sign-stealing scandal, but I feel like he's being unfairly treated in this situation as the only player that was signaled out for this particular scenario. And part of that had to do with the fact that he was retired. So Major League Baseball didn't want to have to deal with the grievance in terms of players who are active and dealing with the union and any of that. And because of that, Carlos Beltran has been hurt far more than Hinch. He's been hurt far more than Cora. I like the fact that already in his first year, according to the ballot tracker, he has something like 50% of the vote. I feel like this is only going to rise. He deserves to be in the Hall, absolutely. And I am a big Billy Wagner fan. I feel like he is the prototype for the type of closer that we see today. When we look at his strikeout ratios, he is above and beyond. He is 6th all-time in saves. He's not a Mariano Rivera, but I feel as opinions on relievers change throughout the years, as we become more modernized, we're going to see what an impact a guy like Wagner has, and I absolutely think he belongs to be in there.
Yeah, I think he nailed it on both Mets guys, Laura. With regards to Wagner, if he had 600 saves like Trevor Hoffman, he'd already be in. If you look at their numbers compared to each other, they're basically the same pitcher. If you're going to make an argument that one was better than the other, Billy Wagner, pound for pound, probably a better pitcher
I agree.
than Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah.
It seems like sacrilege to say, right? Trevor Hoffman, one of the greatest ever in the Hall of Fame. It's not a slight on him. He was a really good closer. But Billy Wagner, 11.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. That is the number I keep coming back to. It's an insane number. It seems normal nowadays. Back when he broke into the league, that was not normal. It was so far and away beyond what anyone did. And by the way, still the record for pitchers with at least 800 innings. He was ahead of his time in so many ways. He was a fantastic reliever. If you're going to let a guy like Trevor Hoffman in, and probably should be in the Hall of Fame, then Billy Wagner should be in too.
Excellent point. I agree. I thought Hoffman was overrated, more of a compiler. Wagner was better than him if you had one game to close. Sarah, we welcome you back in right now. Talking about Beltran and Wagner specifically, how do you evaluate their candidacies?
Well, I 100% agree on everything said so far, especially about Billy Wagner. But I want to go back to one thing that Laura said about Carlos Beltran. You mentioned how his numbers, no question, Hall of Famer. So I just wanted to show people that, to really go back to what is objectively there with him. This is the highest career WAR among all center fielders in Major League history. He ranks 8th, and everyone ahead of him is either in the Hall of Fame or Mike Trout, which is the closest you can get to being in the Hall of Fame while still being an active player. He is 8th there. There are plenty of Hall of Fame center fielders with a lower number than him. And again, if you go through, just throughout all of his other numbers, and it's very clear that he should be a Hall of Famer. I understand why, the events of the last few years may be, clouding the way people are viewing him this year. But I look at stats, I look at numbers, and there's no question he is the Hall of Famer. And it'll be very exciting whenever he does get in.
That was an incredible full screen of numbers right there. I was sold on Beltran before, Sarah. Now I know for sure he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll find out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that.